Embarkation day can feel like Christmas morning to cruisers, but along with the anticipation and excitement, there's also the reality of a potentially chaotic day ahead. However, smart, savvy cruisers have a system. They avoid crowds, common mistakes, and actually get to relax way earlier than anyone else. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. Now, it's not only first-time cruisers that make some mistakes on embarkation day. So whether you're a first-time cruiser or you're a seasoned cruiser, this video is going to have some tips and some reminders that are going to be super helpful. And in fact, I am going to share with you some mistakes that experienced cruisers have made, including even me. Now, before I get started, I did want to mention that if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give this video a big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? I would love to have you here within the Lifewell Cruise community. Let's get started. Number one, smart, savvy cruisers start their embarkation day the day before their embarkation day. What I mean is they fly in one day early. They make sure that they have chosen a hotel that's going to start their vacation off right. Now, this can be the right location. This can be relaxing. This could be in the heart of town, or this could be even near the cruise port. But every step of the way, it is intentional. Now, here's why arriving at least a day in advance matters. There can be a storm. There can be a mechanical delay for your flight. There could even be congestion on the road or traffic or an accident. And trust me, experienced cruisers know that unfortunately every single cruise, there are some people who do not make it in time for boarding day, and they do miss their cruise. Number two, smart cruisers choose the right boarding arrival time. Now, I personally think that you should always try to arrive as early as possible, staying within the window of your arrival time. And just to let you know, when you do book a cruise, you're going to do your online check-in. And in this process, many cruise lines are going to have you choose a boarding time. Now, personally, I think you should choose as early as possible to have as many hours as possible on your cruise ship so that your vacation can start early. But beyond that, there's actually a reason that people pretty much never talk about. And that's the fact that there is actually a cutoff time on your boarding day. And that time is typically 90 minutes to 2 hours before your sail away. And if you end up getting caught in traffic or have any other problems, you actually can miss your cruise. And just to tell you our story, we were on a recent cruise. We took a shuttle from our hotel to the cruise port. This was in Fort Lauderdale. It was only a 10-minute drive, or it was supposed to be. Do you know it took us an hour and a half to get to our cruise ship? And we actually know somebody else that it took them 2 hours. That's simply because there was an accident on the road. Now, luckily, we left our hotel around 11:30, so we arrived at the terminal around 1 o'clock. But can you imagine if we left instead later and the same thing happened? We would have ended up being in a really bad spot. Number three, plan your embarkation day outfits. Now, it's not because I'm the fashion police. It's actually because a lot of first-time cruisers aren't aware that there's an opportunity to take photos with the ship photographer at the cruise terminal. And it really does make a nice photo opportunity, a really nice souvenir, especially if it's your first cruise. And what some first-time cruisers have told me is they weren't aware of this. And had they been aware, they would have actually been a little bit more intentional with how they looked on embarkation day. Now, I am curious, do you tend to take the embarkation day photo? Please let me know down in the comments below. Number four, get familiar with the cruise ship layout. Now, you can do this by looking at the cruise line website, by going through the deck plans, but one of the best ways is actually just to watch some ship tours right on YouTube, as well as some cruise vlogs. But once you get onto the cruise ship, you can actually look on your cruise line app and you'll see a deck plan there. And a lot of cruise ships will also have little cruise ship maps that you can unfold, and you can pick those up at guest services. All right, now let's talk about the cruise line app and boarding documents. Now, a lot of cruise lines now have boarding documents right on the app. So you want to make sure that you have downloaded your app in advance. Do not wait until you're on the cruise ship or at the cruise terminal, which, by the way, tends to have a little bit wonky Wi-Fi in the cruise terminal. So something that a lot of experienced cruisers do is they actually screenshot their boarding pass, because what can sometimes happen is you open up your app, or you try to, in the terminal, and you cannot access it. So this is going to help. Now, by the way, if your cruise line asks you to print your boarding document, make sure that you do. Now, in the cruise line app, you're also going to find your daily planner, and starting right away when you get onto the cruise ship, you're going to have different activities that you could take a look at, restaurants that are open, etc. But one of the things that you'll want to look for is if there is a ship tour or an orientation for first-time cruisers, definitely go to that. Have a plan before you board to avoid seasickness. Now, a lot of people are not going to get seasick on a cruise, but if you are prone to motion sickness, this is where you're going to want to think about this in advance, because there are some things that you can actually take preventatively, like putting a patch on behind your ear, or taking an over-the-counter medication like Bonine. But you don't want to wait till you feel the movement to take it. Avoid early embarkation programs. Now, these exist to get you onto the cruise ship faster. You are going to get some perks, so this might be worth it to you, but it is going to be pricey. And if you plan accordingly by getting that early booking time, there's a good chance that you're going to get on the cruise ship just about 15 to 30 minutes after those who might have paid hundreds of dollars. Avoid these luggage mistakes on embarkation day. So first, if you are parking, make sure that you drop off your luggage before you park. Now, something else that you want to make sure that you do, if you've been on a cruise before, make sure that you remove any old cruise luggage tags. Now, first cruise or experienced cruise, make sure that you do actually attach your luggage tags on in advance. And the best thing that you can do is actually use plastic reusable luggage tag holders. Now, I'm going to tell you one of the reasons why. We were actually on a cruise, and some cruisers told us that they, by mistake, dropped their luggage off at the cruise ship next door. We were in San Diego, and there were two cruise ships side by side. Well, they didn't put their luggage tags on, and they relied on the porters to do that for them. So not a good idea. And another little tip, make sure that you do have a couple of dollars with you to tip the porters, as well as not mandatory. It is customary. Speed up the check-in process on embarkation day by doing your check-in online before your cruise. Now, here's where we made a mistake on our upcoming cruise. We did do our online check-in, but something we realized while we were doing it is that I got my son's girlfriend's birth date wrong on her booking. So it turned out she could not actually get into her booking. She could not get into it on the app to do the online check-in. Now, thank goodness we ended up finding out in advance. I emailed my travel agent with the correct birth date, and he got it all sorted out on a weekend, no less. Now, a lot of people do ask me who we book our own cruises with, and even how to find a reputable travel agency that specializes in cruises. So just to let you know, our travel partner is MEI Travel. We personally book our own cruises with them, and I always think, more importantly, they've actually helped hundreds of our viewers and members of the LifeWell Cruise community to plan their cruises. Now, MEI Travel is a no-fee travel agency, so you're not going to pay more than you would if you work directly with a cruise line, and in fact, oftentimes you're going to get better rates and promotions simply because they have a large volume, and they actually have about 100 travel advisors across the nation. Now, one of my favorite things about working with MEI Travel is the way you can book a cruise. So you can actually go directly on their website and you can book there if you want. And even after you book, a travel agent will just contact you to go through any of the details that you may need to be aware of. But if you'd like to get a quotation and even some personal advice from a travel advisor, you can fill in the quotation form. Somebody will contact you and you can get help and personalized advice on your cruise, your flights, your hotels, and more. Now, MEI Travel also has a price monitoring technology. So if there are any price drops for your cruise, they can actually apply them proactively up until your final payment. Now, I'm going to leave all of the information for MEI Travel linked down below in the description of my video, as well as a pinned comment. Keep your carry-on bag light and manageable. You're not going to get your checked luggage for several hours after you embark your cruise, but you don't want to be dragging around heavy luggage. Instead, bring a backpack a weekender duffel bag, or even a rolling carry-on, but something that is easy to manage for the first hour or two until your cabin is ready. Now, it's super important to be sure to pack any of your essentials in your carry-on bag. Now, this includes medication, valuables, electronics, money, documentation that should be on you, as well as any passports and government ID. None of these things should ever be in your checked luggage. Don't bring any prohibited items on your cruise. Now, you definitely want to be familiar with what you can and cannot bring on a cruise. But quickly, some things that you can't bring on a cruise include an iron and a steamer. These are actually a fire hazard. Hard alcohol as well. And any form of an illegal substance. I'm intentionally not saying certain words because we are on YouTube and I don't want to affect the distribution of this video, but bringing these things can not only delay you getting on to the cruise, it can land up that some of those items are actually confiscated, but you can actually be denied boarding. Know where you're going to get your room key card. Now, depending on your cruise, you're going to pick up your room key card or your cruise card either in the cruise terminal at check-in, or once you board your cruise, you're going to go up to your cabin and it's going to be right outside your cabin door. Speaking of your cabin door, when you are permitted, go to your cabin and be sure that you drop off your carry-on luggage. In addition to that, make sure that you make use of the safe and put any of your valuable items, including your passport, in there. Have a day one action plan. Now, think of this as a little bit of a checklist of the tasks that you just need to do, and you want to get these checked off as soon as possible. First thing, go and do your muster station check-in. Now, most cruise lines have a sort of e-muster where you're going to check in at your muster or your safety check-in. Now, some cruise lines do have an in-person gathering. Disney Cruise Line is one that does that, and some others are going to have a little bit of a hybrid. So either way, you're always going to follow that. And you're also going to want to make sure that you've watched your safety video. Now, you can watch this in your cabin. So once you get into your cabin while you're unpacking or you're putting a few things away, just put that on the TV. Or if you really want to save a little bit of time, you can actually usually watch this on your app right from the cruise terminal or even sometimes from your hotel in the morning. Make any of your onboard reservations. Now, some cruise ships, even though you can do some reservations in advance online, some cruise ships actually do save over many reservations in the specialty dining restaurants for once you are on board. I personally like this, and Norwegian Cruise Line is one that does this, but it's first come, first serve. So you want to make sure that you head over there and you snag the best dining times and restaurants that you want to go to as quickly as possible. Now, if you want to book any adult-only areas like the Sanctuary on Princess or the Retreat on Holland America, it's also a good idea to head up there and to book those right away. The same thing for any thermal suite passes. There are often a limited number available for the cruise, and they might just sell out in a few hours. Are you hungry? Of course you are. You want to skip the buffet chaos. Now, what you can do is you can actually look on your app and you can find out what are the restaurants that are open, or you can look on the daily planner that is printed out and might be left in your cabin depending on the cruise line. Now, something that we like to do is actually head to the main dining room. Other people say they like to go to a specialty restaurant that sometimes is open on embarkation day and has a reduced lunchtime rate. And still, other people love to grab pizza or burgers by the pool, but don't assume the only place open is the buffet. Check out the kids club, and of course, only if you have children. But if you have kids, if you have teens, this is not something to wait for because it truly can affect your cruise. What you want to do is there's going to be like an open house time, typically around 2 to 4 o'clock. Make sure that you get there. Your kids will have a chance to visit. You'll have a chance to talk with some of the animators or counselors, and they might even already make a few friends. But it is going to be much easier for them to go back later on that evening or the next day if they've already gotten acquainted. Look for exclusive embarkation day offerings. Now, you can often find out about these things even in a cruise Facebook group or a cruise roll call before your cruise, but you want to look for everything from certain foods that are only available on embarkation day to certain drinks like sail away drinks that are only available on embarkation day, including even like some keeper cups. And why not? You can keep your drinks cold the entire week if you buy them on the first day. But beyond that, you also want to look for some embarkation day specials. Now, one of our favorites is to go look at the spa, because oftentimes on embarkation day, there are going to be specials that you can use later on in the week, that if you sign up on embarkation day, you're going to get some bonuses. Now, a great tip that most people don't know about is that the spa is actually usually going to be cheaper on embarkation day. So if you've been under a lot of stress, think about how good it's going to feel to have a massage on embarkation day, or to start using that thermal spa on embarkation day evening after supper. Join any embarkation day raffles. So in addition to specials, you're going to have some raffles that are available as well. So definitely participate in these. Now, if you're somebody who likes to use the gym, there's usually going to be a sign up for some of the gym classes that are available through the week. Now, sometimes they're going to have an extra cost and sometimes they're going to be included. But one thing that does happen is they actually do kind of fill up quickly. So if you know there's a class you want to join in, you want to make sure that you do this on embarkation day. Do not forget to put your phone in airplane mode. Now, it's a good idea to do this right before sail away, or even earlier, especially if you have cruise ship Wi-Fi. You're better off getting off your land Wi-Fi and getting onto the cruise Wi-Fi as soon as possible. Now, you're actually going to have instructions in your cabin that are available, or you can find instructions oftentimes on the cruise line app. But also on the first day, you're going to have a lot of crew members that are there to help. So don't hesitate. You actually can skip going to guest services, because usually there are some different crew members that are responsible for helping with the internet that are right around the area, and you won't have to go in line. Get ready for sail away. So decide, where are you going to enjoy your sail away? Are you going to go to the sail away party? That can be a lot of fun. But what some people do is they actually enjoy sail away at the aft of the cruise ship, or other people really enjoy it on their balcony. Now, really important, you want to get to your cruise ship cabin and unpack sometime after sail away or before. Now, when you do get to your cabin, before you unpack, what you're going to want to do is make sure that you do sanitize your cabin. And this is just something I think that a lot of savvy cruisers do, because it can potentially help you to prevent getting sick. Now, I have an entire video on everything that you'll want to do in your cruise cabin on the first day, including what you even want to ask your cruise cabin attendant for. And I am going to leave that video right after this one. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Please let me know about your own embarkation day routine, and let me know if you are a first-time cruiser. Please let me know down in the comments below. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Bye for now, and happy cruising.